Well, that can't be good. America's foreign adversaries are ramping up recruiting efforts of fired federal employees as President Donald Trump and Elon Musk continue their purge across the government. How does this make America great again? Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. Throughout history, successful politicians on both the right and the left have often relied on creating a boogeyman. This is a villain or scapegoat to blame for all the problems they see, a way to rally people behind their cause. Separate from one's direct political opponent, a boogeyman is a manufactured enemy used to scare people, pushing them to the polls to vote for the politician who promises to destroy it. Sometimes the boogeyman is a single person, like Elon Musk or George Soros. Other times it's a group, like Jews, billionaires, or undocumented immigrants. But rarely, if ever, is the boogeyman the actual cause of the problem. Yet, both everyday people and politicians embrace this idea because it's simple. The narrative goes, this person or group is to blame. Let's destroy them and all our problems will be solved. Of course, that's not how you actually solve real problems. After losing the 2020 election to President Joe Biden, Donald Trump bitterly left Washington for his estate in Florida, following the violent attack on the Capitol he instigated. Out of power and disillusioned, Trump slowly came to face the consequences of his criminal actions during his presidency and nearly 8 decades on this planet. In the 3 years after leaving the White House, Trump was charged with 88 criminal offenses in 4 separate cases. These charges related to his attempts to overturn the 2020 election, his election interference in Georgia, falsifying business records in New York, and his theft of classified documents. All of this not only caused Trump tremendous legal headaches, but it also gave him a new boogeyman: the government. Unlike in 2016, when he painted former President Barack Obama as the enemy, and unlike in 2020, when China and COVID were his villains, Trump's focus for the 2024 election was on the government, or as he calls it, the deep state. Trump claimed the government, or deep state, was not just to blame for his legal troubles, but for all of America's problems. And while I admittedly don't fully understand why everyday Americans harbor such deep resentment for the government, Trump's exploitation of this far-fetched deep state conspiracy helped him defeat Vice President Harris and secure the most unlikely second term. Now, back in the White House, Trump has gone to work firing scores of federal employees, those he's deemed part of the boogeyman. According to the most recent jobs report, under Trump's direction, Elon Musk has fired over 216,000 government employees and placed tens of thousands more on leave. That's about 7% of the 3 million civilian federal workers. And while these are just estimates, the practical implications are clear. Not only are many hard-working patriots losing their jobs and having their livelihoods upended, but our government is also facing a massive brain drain. Contrary to what Trump and Musk want you to believe, the federal government is filled with incredibly talented people. Individuals who are not only exceptionally smart, but also possess critical technical expertise. These are people who keep us safe from foreign threats, terrorists, criminal gangs, and ensure our social safety nets, like healthcare and Social Security, function properly. They also make sure that the food we eat, the products we buy, and the services we rely on are safe and effective. As Michael Lewis writes in his new book, Who is Government?, the federal government is far from being riddled with waste, fraud, or laziness. Instead, it's filled with dedicated people who work under tight constraints, often for less money than they could make elsewhere. Why do they do it? Because they love America, and no one else will. The government exists because we, as a society, need it. It addresses challenges that no private sector company would be willing to take on for the long term. We have government because we want our country to be a great place to live, work, and thrive. And you know who truly understands and appreciates the value of America's federal government employees? Russia and China. According to CNN, America's two biggest adversaries are ramping up their efforts to recruit fired federal employees, particularly those who held security clearances. Russia and China have reportedly set up recruitment websites and are aggressively targeting former federal workers on LinkedIn. In addition, foreign intelligence officers are scouring platforms like TikTok, Red Note, and Reddit to find disgruntled former employees who might have access to critical information about U.S. infrastructure, or who could be financially vulnerable. If that doesn't concern you enough, the New York Times is also reporting that China is taking even more deceptive steps to recruit former U.S. government employees. China's foreign intelligence agencies are reportedly posing as consulting firms, corporate think tanks, and other organizations to lure former U.S. officials. In fact, postings on the left-leaning social media platform Blue Sky have been targeting researchers recently dismissed by the National Institute of Health, offering them an opportunity to, quote, pursue career development in Shenzhen, China. But the outreach doesn't stop there. Former officials have also reported that foreign intelligence services are targeting agents let go from the FBI and former military officers. The Times notes that China is sweetening the deals with disproportionately high salaries and flexible working conditions. And the recruiters? They're overly responsive, offering an unsettling amount of praise to those they are trying to recruit. So, what does all of this mean for America? By firing talented federal employees and driving them out of government, Trump and Musk are not just weakening our own government, they're essentially handing vulnerable resources over to our adversaries. As Russia and China target these former employees, the risks to national security and America's interests grow by the day. It's clear that the attack on the federal workforce isn't just a political strategy. It's a dangerous game with global consequences. We must ask ourselves, how does this make America great again? And is this really the future we want for the United States? Thank you for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.